Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay and I'm outside in the garden with you today, and my goodness, I cannot keep this piece of hair down. Anyway, I am definitely on a time crunch today. What else is new? I'm always on a time crunch when I come out and talk to you guys. But I have 2 parties to go to later this afternoon, and me and my best friend Heidi are going over to my mom's this morning, well, my parents, and we are canning 50 jars of peaches with my mom. So she's gonna be here in an hour, and I have got to get out into the garden and do some harvesting. I'm overrun with green beans. I've got tomatoes all over the place, and I don't want to waste a single piece. So we need to get out here. But first, I have been free-ranging my chickens lately. Let's let them out. Good boy. I think they're so cute. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm definitely going to start with the green beans because, gosh, they're in desperate need of harvesting. So I'm using a different basket this time. I've got a really cute wicker basket that I think my neighbor gave me. Pretty sure it's where I got it. So let's get started. That's the thing about green beans. They camouflage themselves so well that I went through this 3 times and I was still finding green beans. And that's why I like growing them on a vertical trellis like this, because the majority of them hang down and it makes it much easier to find them. Otherwise they would just be lost in the plant. It takes forever. Okay, let's move on to the next crop that we're harvesting, and that is tomatoes. I'm so excited. Yum. These black cherry tomatoes are so beautiful. I really, really love them. So this one I think is no good. A couple of them that have split are going to be fine. This one I definitely think is no good. So I'm going to split it open, and I think I'm going to give it to the chickens and see what they think. Let's do that. Well, that's fun. Let's get back to it. I don't know when I'm gonna get out here again, so I went ahead and picked the ones that were even a little bit ripe, and I'll just let them finish ripening on the counter. I knew they'd want to be where I was, and they were in the garden. The chickens, they haven't done that yet. They've not been in the garden, but obviously I knew it was going to happen eventually. And so I shooed them away, and I gave them those tomatoes that were rotted. So hopefully that'll keep them busy. So that's all she wrote for tomatoes. I've got quite a beautiful basket of stuff. And that's what's so fun about growing different types of tomatoes, because you get a lot of different colors, and that's what I want. I want variety in my garden, and I certainly have that this year, but I think I'm gonna grow even more colorful varieties next year. But so far I'm really happy with what I have. Let's take a look at the peppers and see, because I've kind of ignored them for the most part and have just let them work on, you know, producing fruit. So let's see if any of the fruit that's on the plants are ready to be picked. So as you can see, a lot of little peppers on here, not a whole lot of full-grown ones. I think there may be a few on this plant. Like, I just don't know what's considered full-grown is the problem. Like, I don't know how early it's too early to pick peppers. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. I think there's one at least that I see that might be ready to be picked. Let's see. Anything here? That one looks like a little pumpkin. How cute. This plant is full of them. It's got several of these purple peppers. They don't look like they're ready to be picked yet, so I'm going to leave them a while yet. But here are my banana peppers, which they're looking good. But I still don't think, like, this is probably the biggest one. And I don't know. It still looks pretty green to me. None of them look like that pretty yellow color that I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to leave those a while yet. But here's the one that I saw that I think might be ready to pick. Let's see if I can show you. This one here is pretty big, like in the palm of my hand. So I think I'm gonna pick this one. Oh, it came off the plant really easily. What do you guys think? Does that look ripe? We're gonna find out. Okay, so that's what we got for a harvest. I've got a bell pepper here, a bunch of green beans, a lot of different tomatoes, and I think that's all I have in the way of harvesting. Pretty much for the most part. I guess there's a few like herbs and like chamomile that I could harvest, mint, but I'm kind of in a hurry this morning. I don't have a lot of time and I want to process these green beans. So I think we're going to call it with the harvesting. And I'm just going to very quickly take you around and show you how everything's doing, because I haven't given you a proper tour since June, I think, because I'm pretty sure my July video was strictly a harvest video. So I want to actually take you through, and I'll be brief, but I want to show you how everything's doing and where everything is at. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to start over here with my lilies, because they finally bloomed and they're freaking gorgeous. So my lilies, lilies are my favorite flower. I have a story behind it that I'll probably tell you another day. But these particular lilies are my pride and joy because they smell so good. I mean, the scent. I'll come out here when I'm having anxiety and smell them, and it literally makes me feel better. So green beans from the other side. This is the bed that has the trellis. These I think are going to go today, and I'm going to replace them with some zinnias that I started inside. I've got a lone rosemary plant right here in the back. It's just kind of hanging out. Lavender phlox, some onions here and there. My cosmos are finally blooming. They're doing good. I have some nasturtiums that I started from seed that I went ahead and transplanted out here. I used to have poppies just like this one, but they were long dead, so I took them out and I put in some nasturtiums. This poppy just happened to hang in there for a while, so I let it stay. Some more cosmos over here. Cosmos are so pretty. I'm going to grow them again next year, but I think I'm going to throw in some new varieties. Got another nasturtium, some onions here and there. Now I do have some sweet peas, and I don't know why, but they're still producing. It's been so hot. I mean, 80s, 90s, and they're still putting off flowers. My Blushing Susie Black-Eyed Susan vine has finally vined and is giving me some flowers, and it's pretty high up there on the trellis, but these little flowers are so pretty, and I love coming out here and looking at them. So I'm definitely going to grow them again next year, but I think I'm going to start them indoors instead of direct sowing them, because it took them a very long time to get going, and I want to enjoy them longer. So the green beans that we were just harvesting, this is my second round of green beans that I started, and they're growing. They're pretty tall. I mean, so that's cool. Gonna get a second round of those. And then same thing on the other side here. Sweet peas and the Susie vine. I could probably come out here and harvest the carrots today, but like I said, I'm in a hurry, but I definitely think these are ready. I don't have time to deal with them today, so we'll do that soon. Oh baby, what's going on here? Okay, I've got to pull this one up because it's doing something funky. Let's see. Oh, what in the world? Like, how does that happen? I'm not sure what to do with that. I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know if I want to eat this. I'm not against ugly veggies. No, I'm not going to. Now that I'm looking really close, there's a bunch of bugs in there. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this, but that's interesting. It's big. It's a really big carrot. Here's my foot. Really big carrot. Okay, well anyway, I guess I should address these pretty soon then, huh? Because it's looking rough. When I harvest those, I'm gonna put radishes in there. And my onions, I'm gonna come harvest them pretty soon. I'm just trying to make sure that they get as much growth in as they're going to, because I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest, in my onions. Here's my cottage garden. Just gonna warn you, it looks really rough. I have not come out here and weeded. It's not in good shape, but some of my sunflowers are just crazy. These are my living room windows, and look how tall. I mean, they're almost as tall as my living room windows, so that's really cool. I need to come out here and deadhead the ones that are spent. I still have poppies going in some places in the garden. It's amazing. These poppies are workhorses. It's amazing. I love these asters. I'm definitely growing them again next year. They took a while to get going, which is okay with me, because you want to try and plan to always have something flowering in your garden. So I'm okay with the fact that they took a while. And they came in a variety of colors from the same seed packet. They're beautiful, and they keep really well in a vase. Did you remember how I thought these purple flowers were going to be black-eyed Susans, and they ended up being this random purple flower from my neighbor? I had another kind of flower that she had given me, another kind of plant, and I thought that it was echinacea, but those were the black-eyed Susans, which I'm fine with that. I really wanted black-eyed Susans. So I do have some black-eyed Susans, and then these random purple flowers, and no echinacea. But that's okay, because I started my own, so I will have some. My raspberries are pretty much done. Although I do still have visitors. So cute. Hi, baby. You having a little snack? I wish I could get it to focus. Actually, I lied to you, because my golden raspberries must be like fall producers or something, because these are just now taking off, but my red raspberries are way done, like way done. But these ones are just getting going. So if that's the case, if my golden raspberries are fall producers and my red raspberries are summer producers, I love that. That's amazing, because it just lengthens the amount of time in the year that I get to have raspberries. Now, here's something funny that I have to admit to you guys. Remember how I kept telling you guys these were dahlias, that this pot was a dahlia pot? I got my dahlias and my zinnias confused. I must have mislabeled them or something, because these are definitely zinnias for sure. And then do you remember how over here I was telling you guys that behind my rainbow Celosias, I planted some random zinnia plants, a couple on each corner, and then in other places in the garden too? Yep, those were my dahlias. This isn't a zinnia. I just think that's really funny, because I was so meticulous about my labeling, and I still got some plants confused. But that's okay. It was a fun surprise for me. These zinnias are gorgeous. I absolutely love them. Zinnias are a foolproof flower. I mean, you're definitely gonna get zinnias if you plant them. My chamomile is heavily harvested. I come out here and harvest chamomile every day. My rainbow Celosias are looking lovely. I'm a texture person. I like to touch things, and I love coming out and touching these, because they're such an interesting texture, and I love looking at them. They're so striking in the garden. These poppies, they're hanging strong, man. It's crazy. These ones I'm not surprised, because this spot in the garden is often shaded because of this tree. But it's still lovely. People always comment on my poppies when they visit my garden. They have so much to see, so much to look at, and they comment on the poppies every time. So that's cool. I've got another nasturtium down here. These were the tomatoes that you just saw. We came out here and harvested them together. My raspberry transplants that came from the original bush, I propagated the runners and planted them along the fence, and they're doing really well here. I mean, they've grown a lot just this summer, which is really cool. My zucchinis are covered in powdery mildew, but they're still producing. I wish I had had the foresight to do a second round of these. I may still, but I don't think I'll get many from the second round before it frosts. My cucumbers, okay, it might just be me, but cucumbers are the one thing, it's like I get super excited for them in the springtime because to me they mean like it's warm and you're growing things. They're one of the very first things that produce in my garden, and so I love them for that, but they're the very first thing I get sick of. Other than the fact that I've been really addicted to tzatziki sauce lately, I'm not interested in the cucumbers. And so I haven't come out here and harvested any. They're huge. There's a bunch of really, really big ones. Here, I can show you one for emphasis. Look at this bad boy. That is a big cucumber. A really big cucumber. And this thing, it's not going to be super great to eat. I'm probably going to give it to the chickens, but just to show you that I have not been harvesting my cucumbers because I don't care about them. I don't care about them. No, but no chickies in the garden. No chickies in the garden. Well, look, Aggie, now you're stuck. What are you doing? You're stuck, you silly thing. I had this. The wind must have blown it. Okay, over here we have my mint, which is doing really well because I come out here and harvest it all the time. All the time. I just did last night. These are those dahlias that we started together in that garden vlog back in April, and I love them. Oh, I love them. So here we've got my strawberry pots, which, by the way, sad boys. I definitely need to come out here and water. They've been promising rain for 3 days. The forecast has said rain, and so for 3 days I have not come out here to water, and for 3 days it has not rained. So everything's looking kind of sad. I probably should have thought that through for this video, but what can you do? Then in here we have that second round of carrots that we started in my last garden video. This was the perfect spot for them because they're really shaded by everything, and they're doing it. They're coming up slowly but surely. My flamingo Celosias are so striking. I love having them in the garden. They're beautiful. They're very interesting, and I like their texture too. I think it's very neat. Our Brussels sprouts, I've since learned by watching other YouTubers that you really should cover these with like an insect fabric because they've been absolutely just destroyed by bugs. And I come out here periodically to look them over, and I don't ever see any bugs, so I'm not really sure what I'm combating here, but whatever it is winning. But they're still hanging in there because look, we've got little baby Brussels sprouts. I think they're so dang cute. So they're still going. It might still happen. My Peruviana zinnias, which I've already done some seed saving for. My blue disc African daisies. When it's cold like it is this morning, it's kind of like dewy and chilly this morning. They don't open until the heat of day, so that's why they're all closed right now. More asters. All the different colors. These came from the same seed packet. I find that fascinating. I gotta come out here and do some deadheading. Hey, you get down. Get down. No. No, Buff. Excuse me, ma'am. Oh my goodness, these chickens. What are you doing, Buff? What are you doing? You're out of control. You guys stay out of Mommy's garden. Jeez Louise. Calendula. Over here we have more zinnias that aren't zinnias. I thought I was planting zinnias here and I was really planting dahlias, but that's cool. These ones Again, same seed packet. Isn't that cool? I just think that's really neat. And then come across here. Inside, the pumpkin plants that I've planted are doing really well. They're getting really big. These bachelor buttons, I cut them back. They were huge. Well, they were like this. I gotta do this one too. They were like this, and they started to like fall over and get on the other plants, which I didn't like. So I came out here and like trimmed them way back. But I left a few because they're still flowering, and that was a good call, I think, because they're still flowering, but now they're smaller. Got to do that with this one too. But yeah, my pumpkins are coming in nicely, which is very cool. And well, guys, I think that's just about it. Maybe I'll show you the shed really super quick, but I think that's mostly everything. Oh, there's Benny over there feasting on chicken poopies. So I planted what I thought were echinacea along here, but it was really black-eyed Susans, and I think that's neat. I think the yellow contrasted with the white of our shed looks really nice, and they'll fill out as time goes on. Next year they'll be bigger. These are my hollyhocks, the 3 that survived, and they're looking bigger, but they're not going to do anything before the end of the season. And I don't think that hollyhocks are perennials. Pretty sure they're annuals. So lesson learned, and next year I'll start them indoors way early because I really want hollyhocks. I think they're so pretty. Okay, here, I'll stand over here. Give you a nice backdrop to look at. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, well, you guys, I just wanted to do a little harvesting. Long overdue, really needed to do that. And I wanted to give you a quick tour so that you could see how everything was doing, because I think the garden now here in August looks a lot different from June when I last really showed it to you, and I think that's neat. I've made a few changes. I'm actually probably going to come out here and transplant those zinnias that I started indoors because they're looking really sad. They need to get in the ground. So I'm probably going to do that today, but that's where we're at with the garden. Everything is looking great, and the chickies are out free ranging, and hopefully I'll start getting eggs in the next 3-4 weeks. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this gardening content, I'll leave more videos here for you to look at. Please consider subscribing, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye.